I'm your Slocum 23, joining me for Titanic Episode 4. I'm woken up by the sound of roosters crowing. I'm up and half-dressed for my shift at the factory before I remember where I am. Aboard the Titanic, separated from my sister, blackmailed by James Essler and employed by his film star aunt, Zeta Serda, who for some reason wishes me to attend a first-class dinner tonight. I sit back down on my bed, all energy suddenly drained from my limbs. The door shakes with a loud knock, loud enough to suggest someone's been knocking a long time. No, it's too early. My new cabinet mate groans and pulls the sheets over her head as I stumble to open the door. Sorry to bother you. Marconigram for Zeta Serda. I was told to route them to you, miss. I'd nearly forgotten my correspondence with Zeta's fiancé, Richard King, my first task as her secretary. Behind me, I hear Lena bolt out of bed, suddenly awake and alert. Zeta Serda, you're working for Zeta Serda. Why didn't you tell me? I'm sorry, none of your business. It's a secret. Zeta's very private. She doesn't want people knowing her every last thing about her. I think she probably shouldn't have become famous. The stewardess hands me the marconigram cautiously and hurries away. I remind myself of what I sent last night before I read Richard's response. I yearn to know you wholly. Tell me something true. Yours, Zeta. Lena is reading his reply over my shoulder and giggles. He signed Ricky. Ricky King. Doesn't sound half so nice. But I'm thinking about Ricky's reply and considering my own. You know my heart's truth, my love. We have no secrets, Ricky. Remind him of Zeta's love, ask about his career, pretend to be upset. I'm going to pretend to be upset. How about that? I scribble, everyone has secrets, even from their most loved. Yours, Zeta, and fill out the marconigram form. I press and deliver my message to the purser's office. As I leave, I'm greeted by faint strains of music drifting up by a nearby stairwell. I follow, both curious and happy for a moment's distraction. But I pause when I notice two men filming the stream of passengers seeking out of the orchestra. I'm about to duck into the second-class library. It would be unwise for a bail jumper to be caught on camera. After all, when the thought occurs to me, a couple of filmmakers in a bad place to start my investigation of Zeta's mysterious missing year. I linger until the camera operator stops filming. The well-dressed older man notices me first. The band is playing down that way. Not a fan of classical music. I prefer film. I like music for dancing. It's a snooze. Sitting and listening to an orchestra? No thanks. Well, you're not missing out on the performance. You can tell the band's bored or weightless. The man steps back, and I see his younger companion adjusting the movie camera on his bulky tripod. Oh, I'm Lawrence Yarrow, and this is Felix. He's my, Lawrence fumbles for a moment. Felix rolls his eyes and completes the sentence. Assistant. Obviously, we're making a documentary on the Titanic's maiden voyage for the White Star Line. Lawrence clears his throat and shoots Felix an apologetic look before turning back to me expectantly. Adele Karim. Oh, if you've nowhere to be, might we film you reading in the library, perhaps? Glances back to Felix, who nods and picks up the tripod. They'll assume I'll say yes, but I picture my jailers in London, and I think if they were to somehow see the film, not a good idea. I'm no film star. Alright, film me. I can't imagine your audience finding me a special interest, but I don't mind. Lawrence's face lights up. He leads me into the library and begins darting around the room, arranging things just so and muttering directions. You sit there like you're reading. Good, natural. Just like that. Good. You're in the movie business. You know Zeta Serda, the actress? Oh, do I know Zeta Soda? Everyone knows Zeta. She's an institution. Zeta disappeared in 1891 after her first starring role in Austria. I'm trying to find out why. Oh, Lawrence looks perplexed for a moment, but it's Felix who jumps in. Why do you want to know? It's for a book. I'm writing a biography of a few select film stars, and that's the only year missing from Zeta's story. For good reason, maybe? Felix, it's all right. The gossip is that it was a family matter. That's all I know. But I can ask around the motion picture set. I'm acquainted with Zeta, but I have a few other connections aboard ship. Oh, thank you. You'd be better off asking her friends in first class. Those rich vultures love dissecting people's lives. Dinner with Zeta and her friends might not be as much of a waste of time as I thought. I take my leave of the documentarians and all but collide with Lena on the stairs. She cranes her neck to look past me. Are they still filming? After I assure her that they are, and she informs me that Charlie stoked the steward to stop by my room. Something to do with your sister, though he didn't say what. A burst of dread overtakes me. Helene, her cabin mates will have boarded last night. They could be as harmless as Lena, but I fear the worst. I excuse myself and rush off in the search of Charlie. I find him emerging from the second-class pantry, covering the duties of a sick friend. He lights up when he sees me. Adol, it's good to... Smile falters. Something in my face has given me away. He draws me a little down the corridor, answering a question I haven't even answered yet. Your sister, she's fine. How do you know? There's an earnestness in his voice as he says, I said I'd help you, and I meant it. Tell me what you know. What did you find out? Did you meet her cabin mates? I checked in on her last night. She's roomed with the Lebanese family, a mother and 2 daughters. Breathe a sigh of relief, trying to ignore the pang of jealousy. I gave him with gratitude. How about he will remember that? There's a thank you. Throw my arms around Charlie impulsively. He pauses for a moment before pulling me closer. I feel the warmth of him through the uniform, his breath in my hair, before I let him go. He looks calm, but I feel the rapid heartbeat of his heart against mine. There's nothing to thank me for. Too late. Glances at me, frowns a little, a perfect indentation appearing between his brows. Hold on. Slips back into the pantry for a moment and returns with a small bundle. A few treats from the second class. Not exactly a picnic lunch, but it'll do. Now, go see your sister. I'll meet you after this shift. I could ask him to come along to steerage, or we could take a chance to do something special. With our party, you, me, and Helene. Come with me? I'm not in any hurry. Besides, I'm sure Helene would be happy to see you. Not hardly. She thinks you sent me to be her nanny. Not a terrible idea. I watch Charlie finish his shift. He's a good worker and makes others laugh. It's obvious all the other stewards love him. We head to the lift together, making small talk. How's this, Miss Montague, working out for you? It takes me a moment to realize he means Lena, my new cabin mate. Oh, it hasn't been even been a day. You don't need a day to get the measure of someone. Sometimes it only takes an hour, or a moment. He throws me a sidelong glance and brings a flush to my cheeks. I struggle to recall the question. Something tells me you have an opinion. Lena, she's... I search for the right description. Friendly, starstruck, scattered. Friendly. She's very nice, and she's not shy. Probably stifles a laugh. Oh, I think she's pretty far from shy. The cabin door is wide open when we get there. Helene huddled on the floor with 2 twin girls her age as their mother looks on. I remember the day Papa left Lebanon. It was raining. We were walking to his shop, or ship, and when I slipped and fell... I'm thrown. Helene was never in Lebanon. She was born in England, after Ma and I had reunited with Father. He picked me up and told me I'd have to pick myself up from then on. But I know exactly what she's talking about. She's telling stories. My stories, my life, as though they were her own. Adol, you're here! Smile flickers with guilt as she realizes I likely overheard, but she holds her head up. I was telling them how hard I was when Father left us to come to England. Their father's been in America for 3 years. Play along. Yes, it was. Ma took a job in one of the silk factories so that we could keep going to the French school. Lainey's lip trembles with gratitude and her nods fervent. And Grandfather thought it would bring ruin upon the family, but Ma didn't care. We both ended up factory girls, just like her. Lainey scrambles up off the floor and squeezes my shoulder. We did, didn't we? This is Rena, Samara, and Miss Ruhana. The girls resume their chat. The twins speak a little English, and Helene has some French and a smattering of Arabic. They manage somehow. Rena is sweet-faced and gentle, possibly headed to America to be married, as Helene would be if we were more traditional. Samara's all sharp knees and questioning eyes, a troublemaker like Helene. Miss Ruhana is plump, in a lush sort of way, and seems to radiate kindness and warmth. She insists that I call her Layla, and when she finds out that I can speak Arabic, and we fall into easy conversation. Helene said your father cared for you after your mother died, but then he died too. Yes, a few years ago. You're a good girl, bringing her up with all alone, but Helene remembers so little of her home. You have to take her back there, Adol. England was her home. America will be a home. I'd like to someday. I hope that I might, when Lebanon has peace and no longer ruled by the Ottomans. Amen. I pray for that time. Let it be soon. Charlie clears his throat in silence and reminds me that it's time to leave. I have dinner to prepare for. I leave the unbundle of food behind. The Ruhanas insist on thanking Charlie at the length before they'll let him leave. I hug Helene goodbye and watch her settle down to play with some sort of made-up game with Rena and Samara. I told you, Adol, she's fine. There's a part of me that thought, maybe even hoped, that she'd need me more. You're only human. We like to be needed. It is true. We're back in my cabin when Charlie hesitates a long moment before asking, is there something else bothering you? Zetasurda is a monster. James is still blackmailing me. Leave it alone. How is she a monster? I don't see it. James is still blackmailing me. I have to find a way to break up Zeta's engagement before Sunday, or it's Thursday today. Yes, exactly. I have 3 days to find some hideous secret that may not even exist, or else spend the rest of my life in prison. You're not going to prison. You don't know that. I'll smuggle you out to New York in a tugboat if I have to. I barely enter the cabin when Lena rises like a ghost from the bed and seizes me by the shoulders. What are you going to wear tonight? What? Lena sighs and repeats herself slowly. You're going to dinner in first class. What are you going to wear? How did you even know? I'm not sure. I'm not changing. How did you even know? I didn't even tell you about dinner. Zeta told her maid, Sabine, who told Lady Duff Gordon's secretary, Franks, who told Lady Duff Gordon, who told me, obviously. I feel utterly overwhelmed and sit heavily on the bed, managing only a faint reply. Yes, obviously. This is what I do, Adele. I dress up for a living. I look up curiously, and Lena huffs a jaded sort of laugh. Oh, I'm a model for Lady Duff Gordon. She's an artiso, but she used to be one of us before she married the baronet. While we talk, she strides over and opens my trunk, throwing dresses this way and that way across my bed and hers. She designs clothing, lingerie. I put nighties on, parade them in front of gentlemen, so they'll buy things for their wives. What? Details, please. Sounds like a good fit. How horrible. I shudder with distaste. I'd rather be on a factory floor than prancing around old perverts. They're not all perverts. She grins mischievously. It suits me well, because, well, I mean to marry rich. She catches my eye and laughs. Now you think I'm a gold digger, on the catch, as they say. No, well, I am, and the gentlemen know it too. Eyes wide open, all around. With a cry of triumph, she shakes out a final item of clothing from the bottom of my bag. This will do. Well, just about. She wrinkles her nose in thought, touches the dress, and then runs to her belongings and begins sorting clothes. Lady Duff Gordon gifted me a gown that might fit you too. Almost. We need to hurry like mad to get it fixed up. Oh, wow. Okay, so you can zoom all the way out. Well, you could, like, spin it. So we have this one. Oh, Lord. At least this one's kind of pretty, but at the same time, you still look like you come from poverty. This one. Oh, Lord. A gown designed by Lady I'm tempted, of course, and... Oh, they're both. My dress will suffice, though. Okay. I'd forgotten I even owned this. You have a good eye. You wore your old dress. Ah, well, it's my job. But I can see she's pleased. There's nothing for it. I'm ready to go. The conversation swells as I walk down the grand staircase. Heads turn to look and bend together to chatter over champagne glasses. Matteo standing at the bottom of the stairs, looking up at me with an expression that's difficult to read. I take his arm gratefully. Despite everything else, he is a familiar face. You look perfectly serviceable. Not fashionable at all, but then we're not expected to be, are we? And yet you look spectacularly fashionable. A table lamp probably looks fashionable to you, my dear, and I am a table lamp to them. This is all amazing. Look at all these people. It's like a shop window. Try not to smash anything, then. I know how you get around plate glass. We startle each other into laughter, and Matteo gives me instructions as we walk down the stairs into the dining saloon. Zeta wishes you to get to know these gentlemen and ladies. You'll be inviting them to her birthday party. And James wants you to scour for gossip about his aunt. And you no doubt have demands as well. Survive. You're no good to us if these people eat you alive. Now pay attention. You know, to a nearby older gentleman. That's John Jacob Astor, one of the richest men in America. In a lower voice, he adds, his wife's your sister's age. Expecting as well, though she's trying to hide it from the cut of her dress. The electric chandelier casts a golden glow over the jewels and faces of the passengers, lighting them as if from afar. Do you know everyone's secrets? I suspect you have secrets I know nothing about. In fact, I'm sure of it. Pick someone. I'll tell you what I know. The blonde woman in the hat, the kindly-looking man, the older man with a young woman, and the woman in the hat. I point around, and Matteo rolls his eyes extravagantly. Of course you'd pick that. Only the boring woman in the lot. That's Countess of Ross. She's a philanthropist. A conservative. But she does support women's suffrage. You'd have a lot to talk about. Hey, cool. Zeta's holding court at her table, gesturing wildly with champagne glass and leaving bright red lipstick on the rim. She starts when she sees me. This is Adele. Be nice, everyone. She's brand spanking new. I slide into place next to Matteo, all too aware of the glances and curiosity and interest. A waiter fills my glass with champagne and Zeta raises hers. Adele, why don't you make a toast? To all of you, to Zeta's wedding, to votes for women, to my sister in steerage. Oh God, to Zeta's wedding. Congratulations to Miss Zeta Serda on her engagement. Hope she's very happy. Zeta's laughter rings out like a gunshot, and she sloshes champagne over the rim of her glass. Happiness comes and goes, but film is forever, sweetheart. I'd rather toast to that. Lena's courtier, Lady Duff Gordon, avoids my eye throughout the dinner. James ignores me. Zeta's maid, Sabine, regards me with suspicion. Zeta spots a young honeymooning couple across the room, half shouts a greeting. Daniel Marvin, don't you ignore me. I wiped your snot when you skinned your knees. Your daddy promised to put me in his next picture. Tell him he better deliver. The other diners are half shocked, half awed as the couple nods and scurries away. Adele, make sure they get their invitation for the party, even if you have to pry their hands open to give it to them. Next to me, a man Zeta introduced as Baron von Guttenberg hunches over me with a loud laughter. You must be made of steel. Not many could survive Zeta's employment. Quite a few heads turn, including Zeta's turn towards me, awaiting response. Survive Zeta. I like her. I wouldn't say the work is easy, but I quite enjoy the company. For a moment, Zeta actually looks disarmed, but she quickly recovers. What's not to enjoy? She raises her flute of champagne, takes a bold swig, and the other guests follow suit, bewitched by her dazzling smile. Beside me, the Baron sighs a little wistfully. There's no one like Zeta, no? They're outrageous. You cannot help but fall in love a little. How do you know her? Where are you from, Baron? Seems like you're fond of her. You sound a little bit smitten with her yourself, Baron. He guffaws just a dash too heartedly and looks past me to where Matteo sits, eyebrow raised. Such wit! Where does Zeta find these girls of hers? You wouldn't believe me if I told you. I'm about to reply, but the Baron's attention is already elsewhere. He calls out, Lawrence! Zeta turns to the approaching figure as well. You old dog, late as usual. It's Mr. Yarrow, the documentarian. He laughs as Zeta's greeting, even bowing low and kissing her finger like a grass or worshipper. Lovely to see you again, Mr. Yarrow. And how exactly do you know each other? Adele here let me film her for my documentary. We got her talking, such a camera-ready face. I look in Zeta's direction and see a momentary crack in her composure as she says, Well, youth makes up for a multitude of sins, even in front of the camera. Lawrence smiles uncomfortably while Sabine casts me a look of sly triumph until the atmosphere is rescued by the arrival of dinner. Wait. A look of sly triumph? There are more courses than I could possibly stomach. The drinks never cease to flow, the conversation grows louder, baldier, even more scattered. I am content to sit back and observe, sipping my drink slowly, enjoying the pleasant hum of champagne through my body. But Zeta and James both glance at me frequently enough that I can't forget my part in their agendas. So we have get to know the Baron, ask Lady Duff Gordon about Zeta, ignore them and turn to Matteo. Did I wish us to be friends, James, to investigate? Hold on, I like this. I like how we can zoom in and then out. Zoom in and then out. I want to ask Lady Duff Gordon. How long have you known Zeta, Lady Duff Gordon? Zeta interjects over Lady Duff Gordon's response, a fork passed halfway to her lips. She gave me the best advice I ever got, right when I started out. You remember? Oh, I do. I say it all to my girls. If you can't be good, be expensive. I decided right then and there I'd be very, very expensive. The table breaks into laughter. Zeta directs her gaze at me. Adele, you could do quite well for yourself. Even my nephew's charmed. He's been staring at you all evening. James reddens. Zeta lifts her glass to take another gulp. Auntie, I think you've had enough to drink. Not nearly enough. Adele, what do you think? I'm supposed to be favoring up to her, so drink with her. I think we could use another drink. James scowls and Zeta smiles and drinks with me. A most excellent secretary. You've found me, James. Besides me, Matteo whispers, He'll make you pay for that later. There's a growing sound from underneath the table. It's Mimi, the Cocker Spaniel Zeta's been feeding. Her scraps, no doubt. Mimi! Hush! Just then, a waiter walked by carrying a particularly delicious-smelling platter of roast beef, and Mimi darts after him. The Baron leaps to his feet to give chase and spills a cascade of red wine down my dress. Oh, my gown! Your pardon, madame. He looks apologetic before rushing off after the dog, but I can't help but feel that this accident was rather purposeful. Is he merely a snob or something worse? Attempt to clean up the dress, chase the dog, try to lighten the mood. Attempt to clean up the dress. I try to sponge the red wine out of the fabric with the cloth napkins as the elegant dining saloon explodes into an uproar. I look around, the evening has descended into a farce. The Baron's no closer to capturing the surprisingly elusive Mimi, and Mateo and James have joined the hunt. Zeta and Sabine are arguing while the rest of the table tries to soldier on with dessert. I'm relieved when a server approaches me to suggest I put salt on the wine stain. She directs me to the nearest pantry, where I sit, salt scattered across my stain, while enjoying my distance from the chaos. I emerge at last, and... Ah, there you are. I turn to see Charlie standing there, smiling at my predicament. They seasoned you well. Do they intend to serve you as the main course? They already did. May I smuggle you to safety? Zeta needs me. My dress is ruined. Anywhere but here. I don't care where we go, as long as it's far away from here. Well, that I can imagine. He takes my hand and we slip away without anyone noticing. Charlie's grinning as he pulls me into the lift. He leans closer and promises, I'm going to take you to a real party. Well, I guess we'll see. Without further ado, thank you all for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And description below, links to social media, Discord, and a few links to support me and my content. Hopefully you're all staying warm with this horrific wonderland of BS that's in America. Don't know about the rest of the world, so hopefully you're all staying warm nonetheless. And without further ado, thank you all for staying here and watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace.